So I'm Nick Boston, been here for 3 years now. Had shops in London before and wanted to find somewhere that was in the West End that had a good following of customers from the hotels in the area. And so here I am, and yeah, delighted to be here. So Victorian pottery, 19th century, mostly British, some other countries, but mostly that period of British incredible manufacturing in the 19th century, feeding the huge new middle class in Europe and America. We have some 16th century pieces as well, but predominantly 19th century ceramics that the Victorian homes were filled with. But predominantly what we sell goes to collectors and museums who are looking for one-off objects, objects with history, objects that have some place in the history of design. The future of antiques is very, very positive. My father was an antique dealer. My nephews are antique dealers. This is what we do. And we see fashions come in and out. There was a huge fashion 10, 15 years ago for minimalism and mid-century modern. So antiques, furniture, ceramics really were out of fashion. That's all changing now. We have a younger audience, younger crowd of people that are starting to make money, build their homes, and they're looking at antiques for those special one-off objects that they will enjoy to look at, their friends will enjoy to look at. So the future is very, very bright. I think people want to know more information about objects. They're looking at aesthetics, they're looking at design, provenance. So yes, future very, very good. The great thing about being in Grays is that it's always nice to be part of a community. It's always nice to come to work in the morning and there's other dealers around you. It's security, but also there's a great cachet with being at Grays, which is quite unique. And that is because its position in the centre of London, in Mayfair, with the great hotels around us, we do get great footfall from serious collectors. You know, we have the best jewellery here, best ceramics, silver. So serious collectors, serious shoppers know they can come here and find those very, very special things. So the object I'm going to show today is actually not British, but it is 19th century. And the reason I think I'd like to talk about it, it's very, very rare, it's very beautiful, but it was a piece that was exhibited at the London International Exhibition in 1862. So to find objects that actually were exhibited at one of these great world trade fairs is quite rare and wonderful. So the vase is made by a Danish company called Ibsen. Ibsen were at the time the greatest pottery manufacturers in Denmark, alongside people like Minton and Wedgwood in England. They were thought to be the great company. The London International Exhibition in 1862 was a huge event, this huge conservatory built on Hyde Park, and manufacturers from all over the world, whether it's a tractor or lace or curtains or ceramics and silver, were invited to bring their very, very best goods to show the world what they were manufacturing and how great they were. So Ibsen were invited and they bought a range of vases, most of their work being in the classical style, like Greek urns, very high quality, looking like they're made of basalt, but in fact they're actually glazed earthenware. Large vases, vases that would stop people in their tracks, stop at a big trade show and say, wow, these things are incredible. To find objects from these great world trade fairs is near to impossible. So this vase, not only is it beautiful, beautifully hand painted with flowers in a very high Victorian style, but also historically looking like it was made in Greece, which is a great fusion, which is what Victorian design is all about, a fusion of dynasties and other countries' designs all coming together in these new products for the middle class homes. So the vase itself stands as a beautiful object, but to have original documentation showing that it was at the 1862 exhibition, the owners who have handled the vase, there's letters here from auction houses in 1900 saying, you know, we think this vase is valued at this. Photographs of the 1862 exhibition showing the Ibsen display. So basically, not only is it a beautiful object, wonderfully decorative object, it has incredible history. So for a collector or even a museum, which we do a lot of business with, if they wanted an example of high Victorian design and an object that was shown at a great world trade fair, this is it. Beautiful, historically interesting, with great provenance. Well, actually, when it was exhibited at the 1862 exhibition, there is no record of actually how much it was sold for. But interesting, there are letters here from auction houses who have been trying to do research into the vase, and actually there's even an entry into an auction from 1902 where it was sold. Unfortunately, there isn't any prices on there, but I would say it would have been an expensive thing then. It's an expensive thing now as well, but it's very, very rare, unique. You'll never find another one, and it is a true art object. Most of the time, why provenance is so interesting and important is that we don't know with an object generally how many hands and how many families, how many homes it's been in. So with an object like this, we can probably trace it through, including myself, 3 hands since it was displayed at the exhibition. So there are people that would recognise that as something special. I'm not going to be able to show you these individually because they're stapled together and been stapled together for a long time, so I don't want to undo that. But here is an entry for the vase for the 1862 exhibition. Another official document here relating to the vase, 1862. And then here a letter, again from 1902, from an auction house, Weston & Sons, that are talking about possibly selling the vase at auction in 1902. So this is the Ibsen vase, a classical shape, like a Greek urn, in basalt. This is actually glazed earthenware, so not basalt like an original Greek urn would be, but the whole fashion of neoclassicism, looking to Greek design, reproducing it, very, very fashionable. So here Ibsen, the Danish factory, is looking at neoclassicism, looking at a Greek urn, and then adding these very, very beautiful big blossoms, which is a very Victorian idea. The flowers we would refer to as high Victorian design. So again, this fusion, which is Victorian design, fusion of ideas from different dynasties and countries and ideas and fusing them together. The flowers are very much in the style of an artist called Richard Pillsbury, who was Queen Victoria's favourite flower painter. So not only are we looking at a very, very decorative Victorian vase, we're looking at a vase which academically is very, very interesting. As I had mentioned, was exhibited at the London International Exhibition in 1862 and of a very, very high standard. The gilding around here is 22 karat gold, but a very, very soft gilding, which is very, very pleasant to the eye, not too screaming gold. The flowers, even though bright and bold, not too over the top, all very, very subtle. And I think the whole vase is a very sophisticated piece of Victorian design that actually would suit so many different interiors, modern, Georgian, Renaissance. It's just a wonderful object.